There's all these videos on YouTube that will tell you what your net worth needs to be by the age of 30 or by the age of 40, 50, or whatever, and all that, right? And what I want to talk about today in this video is actually that is the entirely wrong metric to even care about when you're in your 20s. If you're young and you're looking forward and you're thinking, how much should my net worth be? You are in the wrong paradigm. You're in a paradigm that is going to keep you poor and middle class and will not allow you to actually build meaningful wealth. Here's why. See, when you're young and you're in your 20s, the truth is that you're not yet at your maximum earning potential. You're young, you're learning things. You don't really have skills, you don't really have value to the marketplace quite yet. And so you're gathering that. You're gathering resources, you're gathering knowledge and skills and competencies and network. And it's not until you get into your 30s that you start to get into your peak earning years. And it doesn't really occur until your late 30s and into your 40s, right? So it's the wrong paradigm to be asking yourself, what's my net worth? Because your net worth is a function of how valuable the assets you possess are. And when you're young, you don't have a lot of money to go and acquire those assets. Now, if you take your money and every month you're putting it away in the stock market and you're buying real estate and you're doing all this stuff, you're going to build up your net worth. But at that point, what you'd actually be better served doing is, instead of taking that little bit of money and putting it into a little bit of assets that can build a little bit of net worth and get you ahead of your peers at 30 years old, what you'd be better spent doing is taking all that money and investing it into the most valuable asset of all, which is into yourself. Take that same money and invest it into accelerating your skills, your acquisition of knowledge, your resources, and your network. Pour every single one of those dollars into you, the most valuable asset. And what that's going to do is it's going to increase your earning capacity. And that has an exponential curve. You can have unlimited earning capacity, right? But you can only build so much net worth off of a $70,000 a year income. So instead of taking the pennies from the $70,000 and putting it into assets and then being able to say, look, my net worth is $250,000. I'm 30 years old. I'm ahead of the curve. Huzzah. Instead of doing that, if instead you took all of that money, that $250,000 worth of net worth, and had invested into yourself, into increasing your earning potential from 70,000 to 700,000, who's more valuable at 30? The person who has a net worth of zero but has an earning potential of $700,000, or the person who has a net worth of $250,000 because they've put a little into their IRA, a little bit into this real estate, right? They've done a little bit, but they only make $70,000 a year. Who would you rather be? Would you rather be the person who has the potential to make $700,000, or would you rather be the person who only can make $70,000 but has $200,000 in the bank? You're ahead on the net worth game, but you're losing in the game that actually matters. Because at a moment's notice, that person who makes $700,000, they can change the paradigm. They can take that money that they're earning, they can start investing it into assets, and within just a year or two, they're going to have more than the other person did after a decade of saving, right? And so the correct way to think about this question isn't like, how much net worth should you have at 30 years old? It should be, how much potential, how much earning potential do you have? That is the only metric that matters when you're in your 30s. Now, as you get into your 40s and your 50s and 60s and beyond, then net worth starts to be a more meaningful metric. But until you get into your 20s, until you're through your 30s, I would say net worth is the wrong paradigm. Do not care about it. Does not matter. If you have a $500,000 net worth at 30 years old versus 5 million, good for you. Doesn't matter. All I care about is, what is your earning potential? Because that number compounded over the rest of your life is going to be far in excess of whatever net worth you're able to accumulate in your 20s. So take that information, run with it. I'll see you guys in the next episode.